Welcome to segment 3 of this show. And if you haven't watched this show yet, start watching, because in segment 1 I get really close to the camera, and in segment 2 it starts to get creepy, and in segment 3 it's probably getting creepier, so... See, not even 15 seconds and I got Cole laughing, so there you go, I'm a good production host here. Anyway, the rest, as Paul Harvey says, it's time for the rest of the story. And we are officially into the late games as we were in segment 2. Seattle against the Bucks.
Well, the Bucks right now, they just suck. They can't find anything right now. I feel bad for Revis, for starters, as his island is very lonely probably right now, as he looks at that ship like, how am I going to get out of here now? Try to get that thing to move, because right now they are, I believe now, are they 0-8 or
0-7?
0-7 right now? Okay. Still, that's horrible. As now they are playing Seattle, which, I don't know, Seattle wasn't good last week. They were stopped.
I would agree.
Rams defense did something, and thanks to one big play by Seattle, that's what won them the game, and a great defense that like they always have.
As Golden Tate going like this, that's a 15-yard penalty and a $5,000 fine. Which that was justified, because that was a little over the line.
Yeah, that was a little.
But still.
Too cocky in my mind right there, was, yes. And Seattle, what team did they lose? What's his name?
Seattle lost,
That's going to kill me if I don't know, since I don't remember this.
one of their wide receivers for the season.
There's a star wide receiver, I know that. I'm thinking Harvin, but he's coming back. Harvin's coming back soon, so that's good for you guys, but... you look it up and I'll keep talking here. But, so right now I think this game is going to be a comeback for Seattle right here, as Russell will probably have a good game in this one, I believe. Marshawn Lynch will come back after a horrible game against the Rams, as he could not get anything going. Golden Tate now, star wide receiver, so let's make sure you keep the cockiness down a little bit.
Sidney Rice,
there it is. I think I don't remember that name. I've just been off tonight. I don't know. But Seattle, they're going to have a good game here, and I think they're going to show Tampa Bay why they don't have a win this season, as they will win this one 27-7.
Now, the Bucks, yeah, I could pull out my wallet and those Bucks would be better than the Tampa Bay Bucks this season. Schiano, as I've said to many people before this show, he's a my way or the highway coach. And in this league, that either works or it doesn't. And seeing as Revis spoke out against him, it's clearly not working. I think the gap in his teeth is a little bit wider than Michael Strahan's. I do think they're going to let him go at the end of the season. And this game is going to prove why they're not that good. Their ship, if it's not sunken yet, will sink this week. And you won't even hear from the Cannons. And to tell you the truth, I don't know if Schiano's going to make it out back east, but he probably will. Seattle wins this one 31-7. Once again, the creepiness continues as that score was close.
We're on ball today. We're on ball. I'll tell you that.
We'll find out in this last 4 games here. Cleveland against Baltimore.
Well, Baltimore, I don't know where they went this season. I don't know if they're losing all those players hurt them this bad, but right now they are having a struggling season right now, as they are trying to find something. Joe Flacco actually getting that huge contract that made him, I think, one of the highest paid quarterback, if not the highest paid quarterback in the league.
Bert, you got a ton of money, Bert.
But Bert can't do anything about it, because the team is just not looking like they should. But
I just don't have a damn team.
But now
Bert, you're shouting again, Bert.
And then there's Cleveland, who, actually, I'm not going to lie, they surprised me last week. Even though they lost, they surprised me. Staying in the game with Kansas City, and Jason Campbell not going back to a starting quarterback job. I'll tell you that right now, as he did a good job last week taking over that team. This one, I actually got this one being at least a low scoring game I have it because I think both defenses are pretty good. But I got to give it to Baltimore in a 17-7 win over Cleveland.
Okay. Yeah, Baltimore has been a bit of a struggle this year, surprisingly. And like I said, I just quoted the scene from Family Guy where there's Bert and Ernie, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bert, you're shouting again, Bert! Anyway. Although Cleveland did well against Kansas City, surprisingly, I just don't see them being Baltimore. They're back to where the Browns were. I thought the Browns would be. Just not that great. Exactly. I think Baltimore wins this game 27-13. So a bit of a scoring difference there.
All right, finally we got a difference. All right.
Yay!
All right. We're not close anymore. All right. We are two minds now. All right. Awesome.
Alrighty. I think this is probably America's game of the week. New England against the Steel Curtain, the terrible towel, although it is kind of terrible, the Steelers.
Yep. After finally getting a 2-game winning streak, thinking, all right, we got this. We got everything back under control. They go to Oakland and die pretty much because that Oakland crowd apparently was too much and Oakland was too much for them as they took a hard loss and now back to a losing ways. That'll be their 2-5 now on the season as they are trying to find something to get them going here.
Mm-hmm.
But they go playing against the Patriots team, which surprised me. Last week kind of surprised me a little bit because them scoring, I believe it was 27 points last week.
Yeah.
Brady only threw for 110 yards. I was amazed about that right there because usually if Brady's late in a game like that, they'll throw quite a few yards. But again, New England, I just feel like this is too strong of a team against Pittsburgh. And I have New England winning this one. Brady will be back to his passing ways again, I believe, and I look for some more I'd say about maybe 3 touchdowns this game from him. And they're going to win this one 31-17.
All right. Yeah, it looks like my Dickel Bowl reigning days are over. And they were short-lived. But
They got 2 weeks out of them, so.
Mm-hmm. But you know it had to come to an end soon. But anyway, yeah, New England have their. That's right. They did play last week.
Yep. Miami.
Yep, Miami. Seeing as they came back that well against Miami, who shouldn't have been ahead 21-10 in the first place, I believe. I do think New England wins this game. A little closer, 28-20, but seeing as this game is in Boston, or in Foxborough technically, but seeing as sadly the Red Sox won the World Series, although it was fitting like I said in segment 1, I think the emotion is very high in Boston right now, and I think it continues to be that high, as New England beats Pittsburgh, like I said before, 28-20. And now we go to the night games, at which finally, in 3 weeks, I won a night game.
You win
I won both of them.
All right. That's an accomplishment right there. We're going somewhere.
Finally! Thank you, Green Bay, and thank you, Seattle.
Seattle almost blew it, though.
They did.
Almost blew it for both of us. I was scared.
But I still won 2 games.
Yeah.
But anyway, Houston against the Colts.
Well, the Colts, they are for real. They are truly for real, as they have been playing outstanding, as both these teams, I should mention, they had a bye week last week. So both are going to be rested up in this game. And Andrew Luck, I tell you what, that kid is for real. Mm-hmm. There ain't no sophomore slump for that kid, as he is been just amazing, outstanding this year. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. And he has been getting quite a bit of help from his defense and offense, as if you remember his last game, he took down the man known as Peyton Manning.
Mm-hmm.
Which, if you're a Colts fan, that has to get you excited that you gave, 1, their Denver their first loss, and 2, you beat the man who ran that city for so long. Mm-hmm. Then you got Houston, who, I don't know, they just can't do anything right now. As they looked better last game, but still, again, couldn't. They lost that game, I believe, last one, right?
Yeah.
I believe so. I can't remember. This from 2 weeks ago. But again, quarterback. I don't know who's starting quarterback. If Matt Schaub is going to start, or Keenan, I believe he's probably going to start again. I don't know how long Schaub's out for, but again, that team needs to find something. As I think one guy who needs to actually do something for that team is Andre Johnson, which he hasn't done anything all season. I believe he is. If I looked at the stats right, I believe when I looked at it I think yesterday, he doesn't have a touchdown yet this season, which is amazing to me. I believe it's week 8 now. 9.
Yeah.
Week 9 now.
Week 9.
And he doesn't have a touchdown, and just they need to get something for that offense because they.
Looks like you might need to beat up on Cortland Finnegan again, like he did 3 years ago.
So they need to do something. I mean, the defense, they're still a good J.J. Watt. He's still playing like he should be. Just that offense needs to do something for him. And again, I believe the Texans are going to be showed up again here, as the Colts, I just believe, are too good of a team. And I believe they're going to win. The Colts are going to win it 31-21.
Like I said 2 weeks ago, it's teams like the Colts the past few seasons that have won Super Bowls. I'm not riding on the bandwagon yet, but look out. And they win again this week. Although it is a divisional rivalry, and I'll say it on the record, I'm scared for when Houston plays Jacksonville. Because that might be the game where Jacksonville wins. I hope, well, I shouldn't say I hope not, but you never know. Indy wins this game, and I think it's close, 27-24. But clearly, as they said in the movie Apollo 13, Houston, we have a problem. And it's true. They have a problem.
A big problem.
The Monday night game. The battle of the NFC North. Green Bay against the Bears.
Well, the Bears had a bye week last week, but still suffering from a huge loss as they now don't have Jay Cutler for, I don't know how long they don't have him for. Mm-hmm. But Josh McCown is the starting quarterback now, and I'm not gonna lie, he did pretty good for being a backup coming to that game. He did impress me, as I think that was a big high scoring game with Washington a couple weeks ago that
Washington won.
So that gives me a little bit of hope for Chicago, as they have Brandon Marshall who can make big plays at any time, and Devin Hester as well, as we found out in that Washington game. He had a kick return and tied the NFL record for most returns in a career. But then you have Green Bay, who's just been hot after their 1-2 start this season. They have won every game since then. Mm-hmm. And Aaron Rodgers back to MVP form, I feel like, as that team. And finally, like I said last show, I believe, they have a running game, as Lacey proven he can do something, and Starks coming back last week, and he had a good game as well at running back. So yeah, they had 2 good running backs last week. And again, a really high scoring game last week as they scored 44. This one, I feel like the Bears' defense is a little stronger than what the Minnesota defense was. You know, I think Minnesota has a little bit more star power on their defense. But I think Green Bay, Aaron Lambeau Field on Monday night, you cannot lose this one. I have Green Bay winning it 28-17.
Yeah, the Bears are struggling because even though they did well against Washington with a backup Josh McCown, I picked that game. I remember that. And although sadly Detroit is going to need to have Green Bay lose this week to try to win the NFC North, Detroit's got the talent to do it, but I do think Green Bay wins this game. And it's one thing is for sure, Eddie Lacy has burned off a lot of those Big Macs and quarter pounders that he ate over the course of the off season.
He's got that fat and a muscle now, pure muscle. Mm-hmm. He's been plowing people over all season.
Green Bay beat Chicago 28-21, and that might be the game of the week, I'd say.
That'd be a good game, I feel like.
Mm-hmm. So, with that, I do have one more thing to say. The bye week is favored over Jacksonville by 12.5, I think the final tally was on that. Just like the bye week beat the Steelers when they in week 4. So sorry Jacksonville, but just remember, just don't pick your favorite number to be 6 like Matt Schaub, and you should be good for this week. 13 games again this week.
I realized something here too. We all picked the same games. We have one game different.
It's Halloween, so that was a bit creepy.
With 13 for 13, we picked all the same games.
Mm-hmm. So you never know. Maybe in about 5 years, you could be seeing us as the new Jim Nantz and Phil Simms. Watch out, NFL on CBS.
Coming for you.
Ooh. So, see you next week. Enjoy the bye week, Lions fans, and 5 other teams across the NFL.
Austin strong.
And yes, congratulations, Boston. Enjoy your World Series.